and it was as if my whole world was shutting down. I got the job, I feel destroyed, I feel like I have no motivation, I felt so lost. What am I gonna do with my life? I bet you thought you'd seen the last of me. Hello everyone and welcome once more to my channel. Hi. It's been such a long time. I know I've been missing, and the last time that I saw you was last summer, and I had like some news for you. That's the reason why I made this choice. I will be absent for 2 months. That's the bad news. I need some sort of creative break. That video is now private, but I'm making this one so I can reintroduce myself to the world and to you guys and explain where I've been at and what I have been up to. I still get questions to this day from people around me asking me, what are you doing exactly? Like, where are you? I understand it must be confusing because I never took a second to explain, you know, where I'm at and what I'm doing. So yeah, right now I'm gonna start off quite quickly since there's a lot of stuff that I want to say. I am in Montreal, Canada. If you guys watched my last video, the one that is now private, I mentioned that I was doing an intensive animation course and that happened, and the consequence of that is linked to what's going on right now in my life. So how did I get here? Alright, starting from that private video, I mentioned I was doing an intensive animation course, so I went through all of it, and one of the things that I was asked at the beginning, which I didn't mention, was that if I completed it, you know, there was like sort of evaluation, I guess. If I passed it, then I could get a job offer from the animation studio, and that's what happened. I did get a job offer, so I had to pack all my things and I had to move from London, where I was at the time, to Montreal, where I'm at right now and where I've been for the past 6 months. So I'm gonna rewind even more to last year. Honestly, 2021 started in such a weird way. I felt so lost. It's something that always happens, call it seasonal depression. Every beginning of the year I feel destroyed, I feel like I have no motivation, I feel sort of desperate, like I am not where I want to be, and it's really bad. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I was doing an internship, non-paid, at the time, which I decided to end because obviously I wasn't being paid and London is such an expensive city. And then it was like, alright, what am I gonna do with my life? Last year was also a mess in terms of Miss Rona. In the UK there was a third lockdown till April, so left my job in February, then April came and I was still like, I need a job. So I started applying everywhere again, and then one day one of my friends mentioned, hey, I'm doing this course run by this company and they train you and you might get a chance to get a job. And I was like, that sounds cool. But I was like so used to being rejected by this point that I wasn't sure I was gonna get it. And then everything happened so quickly. I got accepted. They asked me, hey, is it okay for you to move to Montreal if everything goes well? And I was like, yeah. To be fair, I don't know what I was thinking at the time. Worst case scenario, I stay in London and I look for another job, you know, having been trained, so it wasn't that big of a deal. By this time, I was uploading pretty consistently, 1 video per week. You guys were watching them, I hope. And suddenly everything stopped. And I was like, hey, I'm gonna come back once everything is over. Never happened, and I'm gonna explain why. Everything happened so quickly. I was first in disbelief. I was like, oh my god, I did it. I got the job. I felt so lucky. There were a lot of emotions inside of me, but it was quick, right? They initially told me that the start date of my position was gonna be 2 weeks after the course was finished. So that is a really short, you know, turnover period for me to like move everything out from my London house and then go to Spain. But I knew better and I was like, it's not gonna take 2 weeks for me. I know that there's a visa process that you need to go through in order to move to Canada, as I did when I went to the US. So I knew from the beginning that it was gonna take longer than 2 weeks. Fast forward, once that I knew I was moving to Canada, I moved out really quickly from my London apartment and went home because it made all the sense. I wasn't gonna be paying rent if I didn't have a job in London, so I was like, it's a nice break. I get to go home, have a nice little break before I jump into a job and while I wait for my visa. So everything made perfect sense. I packed my bags, gifted almost all of my furniture and sold the rest of it, and then went home to Spain. This is when things started to get a little bit weird in terms of my visa. Basically, long story short, they changed the requirements like mid-process, so it went nowhere and I had to apply for a new kind of visa. And that visa, if you guys know a little bit about this sort of stuff, I had to apply for a working holiday visa, and the waiting times for that work permit can take anywhere from like 2 months to 6. So I was freaking out. I was like, alright, what's gonna happen with me now? Did I make the wrong choice? I already moved all my stuff out from London, so I was in a difficult position, and the uncertainty of not knowing when I was gonna start working was really nerve-wracking. So I told myself, hey, there's nothing you can do right now apart from waiting and try to enjoy your time. So I spent 3 months in Spain, and then just before Christmas, obviously, I got my visa approved and I had to move to Montreal. And that's what happened. I have tried to summarize it as much as I can for you. I hope it hasn't taken me a long time. And that's the reason why I was away. In the midst of everything, I was like, I want to film. I want to keep on going with this YouTube thing, but I couldn't. Mentally, I feel like I wasn't ready. Like there was a lot of stress, a lot of stuff going on in my mind. And on top of that, I thought that I didn't have much to film and I will have to explain myself. And I was like, I'm gonna take a break. And that's what I did. And then that break grew longer as I arrived in Montreal, and that's part 2, Montreal. Okay, so I arrived in Montreal last November, and if I could describe how it felt, I would say there was a storm of stuff coming directly at me. There was so much to do. I had to find an apartment, I had to make friends, I had to adapt to the new city, and I wanted to film, and I did, but I never found the time to edit it and put it together. That's why you can see all these clips in this video. I was filming the process and then I never got to upload it, and that's basically my life. Anyway, I found a place to live, an apartment studio in downtown Montreal, made new friends, went to the office, and everything was so hectic. I also spent Christmas and New Year's Eve all on my own for the first time in my whole life, and that was hard, I guess, and weird. And then after this point in time, everything started spiraling down. The weather got much worse. Obviously, it's Canada. And then the Omarion surge, if you know what I mean.
We are here, out in the field. We are frightened of Cornova.
Everybody got sent home, so I started working from home in December, and it was as if my whole world was shutting down. I wasn't seeing people anymore, the weather outside was hostile, and I was spending entire weeks in the same enclosed space, so things got hard, and I started to second guess myself for the second time. Did I make the right decision moving here? And yeah, things got hard for a second, and now we are here. So what now? Right now it's mid-May, spring is here. I had to come back to the office, which means that I'm not fully working from home anymore. That's great. And the first film I worked on as an animator is out. That's Sonic 2. What's next for the channel? As you can see, I'm back, which means that I will start uploading videos again. I feel like if I want this to work for me, having, you know, a full-time job, I need to take it more casually, which means that I don't want to lower my quality, but I will upload shorter videos and maybe, you know, beautify my videos less, if that makes sense. I also want to take a more experimental approach to my videos. I have the feeling like my future me is gonna look back on now and it's gonna be like, that's so cringe. And honestly, I'm gonna embrace it. To finish this video, the conclusion is that things can be quite unpredictable, but I feel ready again. And thank you as well if you have stuck around. It means a lot to me. I feel so relieved I finally got this explanation out of my way. I'll see you guys next Thursday. Bye!